For decades, foreign mining corporations have long fostered extractive and unhealthy relationships with many developing nations, raiding their natural resources and putting their communities in harm's way. In particular, mining corporations have consistently exploited loopholes to avoid the consequences of their harmful mining practices through corruption and sheer financial power. One of the resources mined by these corporations is cobalt in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Cobalt is mined in Africa since it is needed to make batteries for electrical cars, computers, cell phones, and several other electronic devices. Additionally, the demand for cobalt is rapidly increasing as there is an increase in the production of electric cars and these same cell phones. More than 70% of the world's cobalt supply is reliant on the Democratic Republic of Congo. 15 to 30% of that cobalt is also mined through artisanal small-scale mining, which can in many cases be detrimental to the communities in the Congo. Human rights activists have been constantly striving to make improvements to mining practices utilizing mining cobalt and to alleviate the conditions faced by communities affected by mining. Many communities face water pollution, the breakdown of land, loss of biodiversity, air pollution, and a significant increase in child labor. Many workers in the Congo have also reported discriminatory actions and severe conditions in the mines.
To gather preliminary information about how much our interviewees knew about cobalt, we first asked, "Do you know what cobalt is?" Next, we wanted to quantify their relationship to cobalt, so we asked, "How many electronic devices do you own?" Did you know that cobalt is used to make many electronic devices, including Apple products? Are you aware of the methods of how we get cobalt? How do you feel about owning devices with cobalt in them, considering what you know now about cobalt extraction? Do you consider ethical factors in your purchase decisions? How does this change your interpretation of what going green means?
All right, do you know what cobalt is?
Cobalt.
Cobalt.
Cobalt? No, I do not.
Yes. Isn't it one of the elements on like the periodic table or
It's a metal on the periodic table.
Yes.
What is it?
It's a metal.
I believe cobalt is an element used for a lot of industrial purposes, maybe in batteries, not 100% sure.
Including laptops,
Yes.
computers,
Yes.
including how much I have for my children.
Sure.
in terms of like smart devices or like headphones
Like
and stuff like that?
Laptop, phone.
I own a laptop and a phone, so 2.
Okay.
Oh my God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
3.
What devices are there?
My phone, laptop, and Nintendo Switch.
Probably like 5. A phone, a laptop, TV, Xbox.
Or do you own?
Do I own? Let me think. I believe I own 4 electronic devices.
Okay.
Actually, yes, because my brother's a big Apple nerd, so he like loves all their products and has talked about like how I think cobalt's one of their like main ingredients in their frames or something.
I knew it had industrial uses, but I wasn't sure exactly what for.
No, sir.
No, you were not.
I didn't know specifically cobalt, but I did know that there was metals in those products, yeah.
Considering you don't even know what cobalt is, do you know how we get this cobalt by any chance?
No, please don't tell me it's kids that go in there.
No, I have no idea.
Okay.
I'd imagine there's nothing pleasant.
Yes.
Don't know for sure, but I would guess a lot of child labor and forced labor.
No, I don't know how we obtain cobalt.
Yeah, a lot of destructive mining practices. At least that's what I've heard.
Well, again, in the Democratic Republic of Congo, cobalt is obtained mostly by hand through, as you guessed it, children, women, and of course men. It's hard, back-breaking labor to get this material, and it's very detrimental. So were you kind of guessed it, but were you aware that this harms the natives of the Congo?
No, sir.
I had no clue. I didn't even know it was, like, its primary source was the Congo, so did not know that.
Okay.
Not at all.
Makes me feel guilty. Makes me feel sad.
I guess it's kind of upsetting that I had no idea that, like, cobalt mining was, like, so toxic and harmful for, like, the natives of the Congo, and it's also just kind of upsetting of the lack of awareness that people have over, like the side effects of cobalt mining and production.
It's they're all bloody, I guess. Like not just I guess it's just with everything we use in the industrial world. Like you already mentioned the cars, but also like the electricity that we use, all the pretty much everything we use. At some point, there's some abuse and labor that goes into it, and it's not a good feeling.
I guess that's not really something I've thought about. Like, I know in the fashion industry, like fast fashion, I do consider that more, like, when buying from, like, fast fashion brands, because I know there is, like, I guess from, like, my own, like, knowledge in high school, we like learned about, like, those industries and how there is a lot of child labor and pollution associated with that, and exploitation. So I have taken into account in, like, those decisions, but not for, like, Apple particularly, and not in the decision of purchasing technology items.
It does make me feel a little uneasy, but ultimately, like, besides living off the grid, it's pretty hard to navigate the world without these devices. So it's not something I'll be giving up. Although I wish it wasn't. I wish it wasn't like so. Wish mining wasn't so destructive, but ultimately, I'm just gonna have to keep the devices.
What are my options?
I think, to be blunt, it's not something I think about that often, but thinking about it right now in the context of this interview, I feel a little bit of guilt, and I would definitely take some sort of action to try and convince companies to use more humane procedures. I'm not sure what that looks like, but it's definitely a disturbing fact.
Yeah. Well, I'm not happy that those are, like, specifically how it's gotten, but I know the electronics we use every day are important, so.
The campaign for clean energy in the global north has brought suffering to the rural poor in the global south. While it is important that we move away from dependence on fossil fuels, the world has to protect those who do the rudimentary work of digging for cobalt underground. Protecting workers, especially children, should be more than just talk. Companies such as Apple, Samsung, and Tesla, amongst others, should insist on buying clean cobalt. That is, cobalt not tainted by child labor and human rights abuses. And mining firms accused of human rights abuses should be blacklisted from the global cobalt market. As the world moves towards greener energy, it is imperative that there should be international regulations on cobalt mining.
We have found a severe lack of understanding in terms of the destructive effects of cobalt on the communities of the Congo. Cobalt mining has been linked to diseases such as cardiomyopathy, deafness, nerve damage, tinnitus, thyroid issues, vision problems, and in extreme cases, death. Unsupervised and crude mining has led to mine collapses that have killed thousands of workers in the Congo. While some of the people we interviewed were familiar with the general adverse effects of cobalt mining, they were not aware of the adverse effects of cobalt mining specifically on the Congolese people. Cobalt powers our devices and electronic cars, and so it is important for everyone to have a clear understanding of the harmful effects of cobalt on the environment and on the Congolese people. As more light is cast upon the issues surrounding cobalt mining, corporations will be pressured to adhere to all safety and health guidelines when mining for this resource. Additionally, the Congolese government should be pressured to negotiate stronger contracts and allocate greater resources to mining villages.